Well, howdy-ho, good neighbors. This is not Brad Pitt. It's not Brandon Falks. It's Marvin Newhart here to bring you the 13th video by me for this course. Whether you realize this or not, we are winding down. And even though we do still have some operations to perform, the end is in sight. Firecracker time is in sight. July 1st is the ending date for this course. So I'm going to make every attempt I possibly can to have this course completed, if you're willing, a few days before the 1st of July. Of course, if we have to go to the 1st of July, that's okay. What we're going to look at today is terms that hopefully you can take from this stat course and remember. These terms will also be in assignments for you to respond to. This is in assignments in Sakai for you to respond to. And I'm going to be talking at a later date a little bit about each of these terms, or at least a lot of these terms, but I believe that in stats we should have an understanding of the following terms. And starting off with, if nothing else, if you can go onto Sakai and the provided videos and follow along with what they are doing. Follow along on your calculator and go ahead and plug in the numbers. Practice, practice. This is what it's going to take. Practice, and you folks have really been doing a pretty good job. I'll say it. I'll just come out and say it. With absolutely no embarrassment whatsoever, I am really proud of the way you folks have come along. You folks are submitting some very good answers. So what? So what? We don't get the correct answer all the time. I'm looking at the process, and this is why I'm asking individuals to show all of the work. I don't know how much clearer I can make this, but show all of your work, and that way individuals that read your work will be able to go ahead and determine where possibly you as the original submitter may have erred, or whether those that reply may have made an error. Okay, having said that, here we go through the terms. First of all, like I say, practice. Practice. It really helps in this. Then, the first thing that we want to look at is the two types of studies, the two types of research. Qualitative, where we really don't use numbers. We surveys and interviews, but not numbers. And quantitative is where we do use numbers. I'm going to put this up here. Know the meaning of the difference between a population and a sample. A population is the total of whatever we are studying. A sample is selected from the population, and the sample size will probably depend on you as a researcher, and it will be random. Now, basically what this means in overall terms, overall statistical terms, is that everyone in the study will have had the opportunity to have been selected. Not that they were selected, but they've had the opportunity to be selected. Then we have the mean, which is the average. We have the sum of the squares. Now, you folks have been demonstrating these in the work that you've been submitting. So we have the sum of the squares And if we have any question about these, referencing Laurel Smith's video is an excellent video on what we are doing. Then we have standard deviation. That's an important concept to know standard deviation. How far the scores are from the mean or the average. That is the standard deviation. Alpha level is the level at which we determine whether or not a sample or a score should be retained as the null hypothesis states, or whether or not it is far enough from the mean that it is no longer in the null area and can be statistically significant. It's amazing how many individuals are asked, what does statistically significant mean? And they really can't answer. We are going to be going over some more of these terms, but I just want you to have this overview this morning. And then we have the X and Y axis. Now, that's X-axis is the horizontal axis. Y points toward the sky. That is the vertical axis. And what we put on the X-axis will be like 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. And what would go on the Y-axis would be a variable that we cannot control. So we can control what is on the X-axis, but we measure and we cannot control what is on the Y-axis. As far as Brandon Fultz is concerned, I have to mention him. He is unreal, folks. Absolutely unreal. He moves statistics from basic statistics to a very sophisticated level of statistics. And I encourage you, any of you that will be engaged in further research, to check with Brandon Fultz. We're not going to go over each operation that he indicates and that he has worked out. And the operations that we will be going over will be the Z-score, which you folks have. The T-score will be coming up. And then we have ANOVA, analysis of variance, chi-squared, and correlation. It somewhat parallels what Laurel Smith stated in her presentation of the 15 video, which she did an excellent job. So we have Z-score basically taking one score and comparing it against the mean. We have the T-score, which is used when the standard deviation of the population is not given. We go ahead and we take the sample, we sum the squares, we come up with a standard deviation for the T-score. The T-score either can compare one score or it can compare two groups. Now what ANOVA does, ANOVA compares more than two groups. And I think that there's, not only think, I know there are some excellent videos on ANOVA. Chi-squared, we are getting into non-parametric measure. Non-parametric measure means that the parameters of the normal curve are not met. And the last one is correlation. And we have cause and effect. Ice cream as an example. Ice cream, and I'm going to talk about this more later on. Ice cream causes crime because the correlation between the amount of ice cream that is eaten and the rate of crime both go up. Well, this is kind of interesting. First of all, we know that ice cream does not cause crime, unless it's a crime to be overweight. But no, that's not a crime. But as ice cream goes up, the number of laws that are broken go up. Now, both of these occur in the summertime. So they correlate, but there is not a correlation. Now, I will be bringing you some more videos. Remember that if it is possible, we want to wind this course up before the 1st of July. Not very much before, but if you need until the 1st of July, it is available. I think overall, you folks should continue doing the good work that you are doing. There will be, in addition to what we have in forums, there will be assignments for you to complete based on the terms that we have discussed. So you folks have a good day, and we have about 3 weeks left in this course here. Hang in there. You're doing great. I know that you can do it because you are doing it. So there's no reason to think that you cannot do this in the future. You